But I think we're ready to get started. If anyone here wants to come up and start the discussion, that would be great. And I'm going to move over there so I can monitor the stream, and I'll come back up if there's someone out there on social media that wants me to read a question for them.
Am I all by myself now? Well, since there's nobody that wants to immediately speak or ask or comment, I will make a couple comments. For the most part, our lives are unexamined. And in a certain respect, it's very unnatural to have an unexamined life. As far as I know, I mean, maybe whales, dolphin, I don't know. Maybe there's a few other creatures on this planet capable of self-awareness. But you and I, our lives are spent in a strange kind of loop where, because we don't examine our lives, we don't really know what it's like to be who and what we are moment to moment. We get little glimpses and flashes, but they're instantaneously taken over by thought. We're just not aware of the fact that there is an almost ceaseless feeling, especially when things seem to challenge a person, or there's a moment of silence, or something unexpected takes place. It feels to most of us as if life is always saying, what are you going to do? How are you going to handle that? What's next? What about this and what about that? Because all of that mental madness is due to the way our consciousness is in its sleep disconnected from a certain fact that eventually you will have to make peace with, which is that life is not asking you questions. Isn't there always a kind of tension in you all the time? And that tension seems to demand that you respond to it, but you can't respond to it until something in you has identified what that tension is. What's the source, the condition creating that conflict inside of myself? Because I have to identify and name what that conflict is if I'm ever going to answer the question about why am I feeling the way I'm feeling. You don't really know it, but so much of your time is spent trying to sort out why you feel the way you do. That's a bloody nightmare, I tell you. There may not be a worse one, because out of that comes every misstep and false calculation and conclusion that brings you into the next environment, the next set of conditions that are going to generate the same disturbance in you, which seems to be, according to this mind, there's a distinction between the event and the way I'm feeling as a result of it. And that's not true. The event that your mind measures is not why your mind is measuring it as a disturbance. The mind is always disturbed because it never stops comparing what it is and what it's doing to what seems to be happening, to what it calls the moment outside of it. And it's not outside of it. I've been giving a lot of thought recently, to use words. What in the name of God does life want me to do? Do you know the hardest thing in the world is to do what life asks you to do? That's the hardest thing in the world, because in order to do what life asks you to do, you have to